Maybe the special thing is that we write our screenplays for our actors. So I met Vera, and we became friends, and I met her 2015, and we made the films 6 years afterwards. So I made a lot of interviews of her. I got to know her, and then I wrote a script for her about everything I knew about her, about every phrase she would say. I wrote everything in there, and even with the other actors, they are non-professional actors. Like, for example, just to say an example, Walter, who is telling the story about the knife when he was stabbed. This is a real story. This is a story he used to tell us. So, as a scriptwriter, I think, where can I put this story, and whom can I tell it? To whom could I tell this story, and when? So this is my work as a scriptwriter. I wrap everything from reality and put it in a fiction story.
Yes, and in the end, Vera is playing a fictional character.
But also herself.
But also herself.
Yes, yes. Oh. We don't know. We at the end we don't know what is fiction, what is real. So even for us, it's very different to say afterwards.
So the secondary characters, like for example, Walter, he's trembling in that scene we're talking about. He's really. I could notice his hands trembling. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, this is really real. I thought this scene was very real. Is he a professional actor, or is he someone you found?
No, he's a circus man, but we did another film with him where he got the Silver Leopard in Locarno for Best Actor. It was the first. But because he tells his stories, and he has a lot of stories to tell, and that's what I said before. It's the emotional memory. That's also Vera. When she wakes up in this apartment, in this empty apartment, this is a story of her. She really was robbed from an ex-boyfriend like that. So when we do this scene, the emotional memory comes. So when she gets up, she has to live this again. And this becomes so real because she really can, and it's the first chuck we use, because it's the most authentic take, the first take.
So this was a real story where you got robbed,
Yes, I have so many stories, but we couldn't do a series, about the boyfriend that robbed me.
A personal question. Do you have difficulty sometimes trusting people because you are Vera Gemma and you don't know if people are interested in you by you or being the daughter of Dario, of Giuliano?
I don't know. I mean, I always try to trust people. I'm still that woman that wants to see the good more than the bad, Sometimes people are too nice immediately, so you understand, oh, I love your father, and he doesn't even know a lot about your father movies, So you understand, maybe this person just looking for something that he doesn't even know. But normally, if I met someone, I give all my trust. Then if they do something bad, I'd never punish them. I'm still that woman, and I think that maybe life will punish them if they are in wrong. But I have this attitude more able to see the good than the bad. That's how I survive until now, or I will probably kill myself. It's ironic, I don't want to kill myself.
Another theme of the movie, which is obviously beauty, but there is a theme in the movie also, which comes in the end of the scene where Daniel is asking you if you believe it, or you are asking Daniel if he believes in good or evil, and then he says good there.
Yes, he said the good always win, and then he give me something to sleep, and he wrap everything in my house, But even this character of Daniel, I don't think is completely bad. And he's not completely good, as I am, So what is interesting in this movie is that there are not bad and good, but everybody can be everything.
Yes. And maybe I can add that No, I wanted to add something. I forgot. Oh my God. No, I'm tired. It's the second Q&A. What Daniel wants, this I wanted to add, is something good for his child because he's really poor and he wants to give him an opportunity to go out of this neighborhood. But what in the end, everybody loses something. Daniel, he lost the most important thing in his life. The kid loses something and Vera lost something. So in the end, they all lost something in a certain way.
So you as people, do you have faith in beauty and the good?
No, because the good doesn't exist, and the most boring things are films where someone is so good and someone is so bad. That doesn't exist in real life. I'm not good and bad. I have both in me. Everybody has in a certain way. So I don't trust the good or not the bad because for me it doesn't exist. No.
Yes, I think we are all ambiguous people. And this is also something that makes all the characters in the movies or even everywhere interesting is the ambiguity. Because good and bad, yes, where is the line between?
We are combined. In the Q&A before, I asked Vera or them about this scene that I love in the film, that is where she goes to a casting and the casting director or the director of the film completely changes his perception of Vera when he acknowledges that she has a deep understanding of cinema and
Yeah, these have
her
been
father is.
these have been like this for my life. In a moment, I stopped to make casting because it was a nightmare for me. They used to watch me like something strange, you know, like. And I was so humiliated and so tired, you know. And sometimes it happens that they told me, you know, I used to say, my father is an actor. Oh, your father, who is your father? Giuliano. Oh, really? Giuliano Gemma. Oh, and they used to become nice. This happened lots of time, you know. But at the end, they never choose me, almost never.
But they promised to write you a whole film.
Huh?
They promised to write you a whole film.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
No, not even this. She promised me to write me a movie about me, and the first reaction was, Tizza, I don't have any money to do this movie. And she said, I don't want money from you, Vera. I'm gonna pay you for your work. And I was like, oh, great.
And you had sort of decided to stop going to castings when
Yes,
Tizza
yes.
came to you. Yeah.
Yes, I think this is the decision is definitive. Even now, I'm not ready to start again casting. If they want me, they have to call me. I won't do any casting no more. I'm traumatized. I'm sorry,
Let's see what happens.
with all the directors.
But if the audience has any questions, then please raise your hands. If you want to ask questions to the filmmakers or Vera. And then we give this microphone.
Hi, my name is Carl Jonsson. Thank you very much for this beautiful film.
Thank you.
There's another ongoing theme. Well, Vera already mentioned some of them, but there's another theme that I noticed, which is trust. Is that right? There's a lot of issues regarding trust in the movie. Can you comment on that?
This is a difficult question.
Maybe you can say.
Yes, maybe this has also something to do with children, and we always have loved to work with children because they always trust. They trust you, and this is something that was very important for the relationship between a person that really trusts in Vera, just because she's like as she is. And at the end, even this trust gets lost. And so, yes, this is something, as you say, a very important theme of this movie.
I could probably
It was too intelligent, this question for us.
I don't know, sometimes.
We were
No,
No, because it's a concept difficult, you know, the trust. I trust them a lot for this movie, for example, but not immediately. At the beginning, I used to provocate her when she asked me, for example, why you did plastic surgery? Because I want to look like a trans. I was like this, you know, and I was thinking, what does she want from me? This is my business, you know. And then she wrote a movie about everything I used to said, and I started to trust her a lot because you don't have to be afraid of what you are. So it was amazing to be what I was and to have the opportunity to give the real answer that I used to give to her in the afternoon in my house when we was alone.
Yes, I had a question. The dialogue felt really natural. I was wondering, was it improvised a lot, or was it completely written out?
It's both. I had to write it out, but we would be very bad directors if I would say to Asia Argento and to Vera Gemma standing before the grave of Goethe what they have to talk, because I don't know what they're feeling inside and what they passed through in her life. They will better know. And there are scenes where where even if Daniel talks about his tattoos, he knows. I don't have to tell him that he has to speak with my words. It's not interesting. But I would write it down so that I can explain what I want in this scene. And sometimes scenes that do not work out very much, and then we go back to the script because it has to be more precise. For example, the scene in the bar, one of the first scenes, they improvised, the girl and her, and it became too long and it was not good written. So we cut it down, and at the end they said exactly what I wrote, but what I wrote was what she told me in the interview before. So it's her words again. But this is different. It depends on which, I would not tell the priest what to say when he comes to give, to benef, yes, exactly, because he's a priest of this neighborhood and he would do it how he would do it. Sometimes I will say something, and sometimes we will just leave them to improvise. No?
Yes, was always our way of working. The dialogues are always improvised.
Okay, so a quick follow-up. Do you shoot those scenes on multiple cameras or single? Or just
No,
technical question.
no, we have one camera, so this is on the shoulder, on my shoulder. And we shoot on 16 millimeter, so it's always, yes, it's much work because we don't work with assistants or anything, but for us it's very important to be a very small team. So it's Tizza, she's doing the sound, I'm doing the camera, and
we have two on the set. We have two.
We like to work on 16 millimeter, not just only because of the visual effect, but also because of we have really to concentrate. We know that one role fits just 11 minutes, and in this 11 minutes there has something to happen, because it costs also a lot of money, and all of our actors, they feel that also.
That passion.
Yes.
Yes. So we really have, yes, not much time, and but we work just with one camera.
And we have no focus puller, and Rainer is a really poor guy because he has to change the roles and to measure the light and to do the focus and to do everything alone. And we are always very angry with him because it takes so much time. He says, quicker, we want to work, no?
Yes.
Yes, he's very...
Let's say you.
Yes, I am. Quicker. Because making sound is a little quicker than making camera.
So are you actually just two of you on the set?
Yes.
What about costume? What about the makeup, the bruise?
Costume, me, and
Costume.
costume she did. Her costume she did. We choose them together. It was her. We decided to take her clothes because they are really great. And no, and we had one assistant this time, not all the time, because he's in the movie also. He's playing the second casting, the theater man. He was then our assistant, and that was a great help because just we have a lot of places. We have this little cinema, and we have the place where he goes to gamble at the end. And this was a great help that he helped us with these places, and also that I don't have to call all the actors, please, today I want you to have dressed in red, for example, or all this stuff. He helped us a lot because it was, let's say, for us the most complicated movie we did, and in two it was really it was impossible sometimes.
So obviously just available light.
Just available light, and sometimes Rainer also makes the light if it's really necessary, because you know if you work with an open how do you say yes he has a full stop of 1 and 2, 1,2, no, so it's really open. You have no, if he doesn't focus pull right, the scene you can throw it away, so sometimes he makes an additional light.
Yes, we have very small additional lights that are very flexible, so they are really very small.
But so how was this experience for Vera? I mean, being her own costume master.
Tizza helped me a lot because you don't have just to choose your own costume. You have to remember the scene, the moment. In that moment, he was dressed like this. You come from this, so it was an hard work. But it was amazing. You know, we were 3 people and 1 assistant, Ivan, which was an amazing guy that played the character of the theater director that makes me the audition, and but they win as best director, I win as best actress in Venice, so maybe we was enough. We didn't need so many people. No, this was just a moment of.
But maybe to explain what we do, that we can do this work that's absolutely necessary, is to work in a chronological way.
Yes.
So the first scenes are the first scene, and the last scene was the absolutely last scene. And so the child, he can develop a relationship with Vera. When he saw her the first time, the first scene he had to do was the accident. He looked at her like this, and afterwards he likes her. So this this is also very good for us. Would be impossible not to do it in a chronological way for us as directors, but also for you as actors. It's much easier.
Hi. I was just curious because you said working in such a small team creates this pressure. Do you want that? Is that something you seek? Does it help you in your process?
No, it doesn't have the pressure is maybe on the film, but it's not. It's our freedom. We work in this team because we are free. We don't need a lot of money. If we need 2 days more, the camera is ours. It's from the 70s. It's an old French camera from the 70s. It's ours. So if we don't have to pay for this camera and for the sound system. So if we're in Rome for 1 week longer or not, this costs the small hotel we are living in. That's all. Because so we have time and we have freedom for that reason.
One day the camera broke. It was a nightmare. It was like desperate, crying. And we found a man that fixed it. Yes. This has been a miracle. The only man in Rome that used to fix this old camera. So we stopped just for an afternoon, then we start again.
Yes.
And maybe the camera broke after we shot 3 times the scene with the priest.
Said this was beautiful, but we had to do it because we don't know if it's. We always say to the people, it was beautiful, but we don't know if it's sharp, so we have to do it another time. And it was very 3 times, and then zack, the camera didn't work anymore.
And just about this pressure, we have another pressure. Big productions have the pressure of money and many people on the set, and there is this pressure. We have just this pressure of the film, of the stock, is 10 minutes.
Thank you.
How many days did you shoot? And also, do you work like typical 12-hour days or how's that?
No, we shot in this movie 42 days, and we did just have 1 day off because we were shooting from between two lockdowns, and the lockdown, the third lockdown came when we had to shoot the last scenes. So it was really, we knew that it was coming. So this was very, I must say, difficult for Vera because she had 1 day off, and she's in every scene. I said I will never ever write a script again where there's just one protagonist in every scene, because it was really, but there was no sense to make scenes without her. But that was really difficult for her. And what was for us very important, that it was so nice. We would shoot in the most dangerous neighborhood of Rome. There are just drugs, there are just criminals. It's really dangerous. And she said, yes, I put on this, how to say pelliccia? this poor, the absurd force, and go to the neighborhood. And yes, this. And she said, this is funny. She had no fear. And that was it's also very important. And we have no catering, so if we are hungry, we go to a restaurant or we don't eat. Or that's.
But I think that if you are real, you can survive everywhere. People doesn't want your bad if you have the courage to be yourself, and you don't feel more important as anybody.
Have you done more films like this?
Yes. This I would say is the fourth film we made like this, always in two, and always on this frontier of fictional and documentary. This is what we like, because I think the best stories are the real life stories, and not the one you invent sitting alone at home. And because the problem is, what I notice with students, also with young filmmakers, that they imagine persons like they have seen it in other movies. And that's a real problem, because so all the characters are the same, but in reality people are completely different. So this is, and they want it to always to be the same. So this is a pity, I think.
How did you finance the film?
Her?
Now, how did you finance the movie, the shoot?
So
Where did you get the money for it?
we have in Austria, we have funding that funds non-commercial movies, and they don't give so much money, but so we financed our first movies with them. And so after having some kind of success with our movies, we could also get some more money. But our ideal is not working with too much money, because we make films about social issues, and we would find it absurd using so much money that really could be better used.
Yes, and we have to add, we have our own production company. We founded it so that we are completely, nobody tells us to be quick or not quick, or to do this or that. So we are completely fit, and nobody waits for us film. This is very good if you're not famous. That nobody is waiting and saying, well, or writing, they are shooting the new movie. That's and nobody respects us. This is very good. When we shoot with our actors, they feel like a pity for us, because they see that we're working with them. We cannot do it. I'm shouting at him. He's completely nervous, and so they see that's too, and they want to help us. So this is very good, and that's also a reason they never look. We always think, how is this possible? We go all the scene we did outside Rome. We go with the camera and with the sound. Nobody looks at us. Because they don't even see us. We are not like this. We are coming, the important filmmakers, but as we're coming, like we are not important. Nobody sees us really. No?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, I noticed that on the big square in Rome.
Yeah, we was afraid. And,
Yes, nobody really sees us. I don't know. We are invisible.
even the police, we said, oh God, now the police maybe gonna stop us because we are shooting in Piazza di Spagna, which is a popular. They didn't tell us nothing. No.
And you're okay with like not having people sign off, people in the square. they didn't agree to be extras in the movie.
No, the people on the square not, but if not, everybody, we ask everybody.
Yes, for example, at the party at the beginning, we said, we are going to come. I said to everybody, I'm going to come to your party, to this guy that makes the party, but I will bring with me two director because I'm shooting a movie about my life. And I was watching me like, oh, yes, yes, bring who you want, a movie about her life. She's crazy, maybe she took some drugs, you know. They didn't believe me. So sometimes in life it's better to doesn't be believed.
Okay. So thank you very much for coming. And if you have other questions, we have even a masterclass tomorrow, haven't we?
There's a masterclass tomorrow at Málavenning, Málavenningar, which is on Laugavegur, the main street in Reykjavik. You will find it, it's a bookstore, where they will have a masterclass at 1:30 tomorrow. So they will all be there, the three of them. I think this was very inspiring. Thank you. As a filmmaker myself, I thought that this was very inspiring to listen to. I hope you feel the same way.
Thank you.